What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Diablo 4. Appreciate you guys coming by. Like the video if you will. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the page and the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. So I'm in the middle of a quest. And I'm not sure what's going to happen here. But I figured it would be a good time to showcase what this Druid can do right now. He's maxed out in the beta. Level 20, getting his little ass handed to him right now, but I have this shield that I use to fortify myself. And I have a few skills at my disposal, one of which is Hurricane. And Hurricane has been improved for the beta. It's doing about twice the damage now, and I have it modified in several different ways. And here's the boss, so let me... Bulwark is what it's called, I think that's how you say it. Not entirely sure. And here's ravens. Check it out. I have a little raven swarm that has a 16-second cooldown or something like that. And here's Hurricane again. Yeah, every couple seconds I can cast, or not every couple, every 10 seconds or so I can have a Hurricane going on. And you can get gear, to my understanding, that reduces cooldown to skills like that. But what I wanted to showcase in this video are the minions, because I recall last beta, the Necromancer actually had viable minions. He had a freaking swarm of them. Like 5 warriors and 5 mages at the least, a big-ass golem, things like that. And they did a ton of damage. You could almost just chill. But as if that wasn't enough, you could also fill the screen with corpse explosions and things like that. And you just obliterate the screen. But I always kind of wanted to play the Druid ever since I heard about Diablo 4 and I saw the first video on the Druid. Just the Cataclysm skill where there's just hurricanes and lightning and shit all over the place, just blowing things up. It just seemed awesome. And another reason is why I wanted to play as the Druid is because it gives you a few options. You could respec and be a tank, a fighter, a werebear, or a werewolf. And then you could be a hybrid of a sort and have some summons with you. And then if you get bored of that and you see the casters around you, like the sorcerers and things like that, the necromancers, you see them casting spells and just blowing shit up from a distance, you can do that as well with the Druid. You can be a more of a ranged class with a bunch of elemental skills at your disposal. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to roll a Druid for that purpose so that I can maybe enjoy both ways of playing the game. And you also swing your weapon a lot, like in this skill, and he's actually swinging the weapon, as you can see here. It's not just some turning into a werebear and swinging with his hand, and it's the same animation no matter what kind of weapon he has in hand, outside of maybe the attack speed. So there's things like that going on. But the problem is, it seems like these minions are doing ass for damage. And that's really unfortunate. It's almost not even worth having these damn wolves out. And they take up a whole skill slot. And you don't have many, as you can see here. So it's kind of a concern. Even worse is the fact that I actually found this legendary ring. It's the only legendary I found. And I got to level 20 maxed out. And I've been playing for maybe 2 hours since I was level 20. And I've only found a single legendary, which is great. That they actually, they have realistic drops now, to my understanding. They're not enhanced for the beta. So if that's what I'm seeing here, and if I'm getting maybe an average of that, it's pretty good, I would say. Because it was exciting finding it, and my character isn't decked out with legendaries like last beta. So they really make you work for it, apparently. But I did find one legendary, and it is this ring, Loop of the Stampede, and the unique trait, or legendary trait, rather, that it offers. Yeah, this is a legendary, okay, because uniques, they're more gold in tint, and they have, I think, more unique traits about them, but this is a legendary. So the legendary power is you gain 1 additional companion. In addition, your companion skills deal 10% bonus damage. And I've come to find that companion is any of your minions. Because I actually gained an additional raven. And I've gained an additional wolf. With the skill only gives you 2 wolves. So I actually have 3 wolves here. And unfortunately, they really suck dick. And I'm not sure what has to be done to change that. Because at this point, I might as well just have another defensive cooldown skill or something like that. let me show you the damage that they do. I'm going to go to the open world and just fight trash enemies. And I'll show you what we're working with. And I actually haven't tried the vine, so I'm going to try the vine as well. And we'll see how that fares. But first off, I'm going to go to this woman, who is the purveyor of curiosities. Kind of like in Diablo 3, where you can gamble for your items with shards or whatever. This is kind of similar. So I'm going to gamble for a two-handed axe.
Not much, is it?
And it's actually an upgrade. Just barely. And it looks like I don't have enough shards to buy anything else. So you find those shards throughout the game. What are the red ones? Red dust. Oh, it's from PvP. Okay. So nonetheless, I'm going to enter the open world and we'll see how well these wolves fare. So here we are out in the open world, and I don't have my ravens out. And here's the wolves attacking things. I have 3 of them, mind you. I busted my ass to get that legendary item where I can actually have an additional wolf. And look at this shitty damage. And I've actually invested in these guys. Alright, let me show you what I had to do with these guys, because I boosted up the skill to some extent. And oh my god! It sucks! I mean, because I can kill these guys in just like 1 or 2, a couple of good swipes. Let's see how long it takes me to kill this enemy. You see that? Couple hits. So it seems like there's a problem here. I remember the Necromancer, his minions destroyed shit. Granted, for this beta, apparently the skeletal warriors die more frequently, is one of the ways that they nerfed it. And unfortunately, that's just tedious to constantly have to raise skeletons, so it really made me want to try a different class. But yeah, the damage here, I'm about to die, because I just let my wolves do all the work. And I got my ass kicked, of course, because they can't kill a single damn thing. So let me show you the skill and the damage that they're dealing. Here it is on the skill sheet. Now, they're only 1 rank, but as you can see here, they don't gain a ton of damage per level. Now, they do have an active thing that they do. I'll show you that. They'll all attack the enemy. It'll probably kill them. But that has a 12-second cooldown. So their passive damage is just really shitty. And the problem is, when you activate their active effect, they only attack 1 single enemy. It'd be one thing if they go on like a frenzy and it lasts for 5 seconds and they do a hell of a lot more damage and attack a lot faster just to surrounding enemies. I think that would be a much better modification. And I don't think it would be overpowered, depending on how you tweak it. So, and I have 3 is what it says here because I have that ring that gives me a 3rd companion. Summon 3 wolf companions that bite enemies for 29 damage. So it seems that their damage needs to be increased because that damage is just ass. Direct your wolves to focus an enemy, leaping to them and striking for 414 damage. And I think that's accumulatively, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that's damage each. But nonetheless, I'm just kind of disappointed in their damage. And then I modified them with this. Enhanced Wolf Pack, where wolves deal 20% increased damage to immobilized, stunned, slowed, or poisoned enemies. And you can work on... There's a lot of modifications you can make with your character to make them slow enemies more frequently, or stun enemies, or there's a poison creeper. So there's a lot of like hidden synergies here that you can work with in your customization. Then we have Ferocious Wolf Pack. Your wolves' attacks have up to a 10% chance to fortify you for 5% base life. Now that's kind of handy because it gives you some defense, but it just seems like their offense is very weak. But what do you guys think about that? Have you tried the Druid? And I mean, my opinion is they need to up the damage here because this damage is ass. And for the active effect, it would be a lot more rewarding, I think, if it wasn't just single target, because you really don't feel like much of a summoner when your summons aren't doing much at all for you, except for maybe that single target hit you can have them do once every 16 seconds. Because right here, it's just, these are shitty enemies too. Like, these aren't elites. It's not supposed to be a pain in the ass against these guys. Because as you can see here, I kill them in one hit. I just pulverized them, and in one pulverize, I wiped them all out, basically. So I think that wolves need to be enhanced, but stay tuned for other videos. I'm going to try out the ravens, and I'm going to try out the poison creeper, and maybe having all three of them active at once. I mean, I already know it, so I don't even have to test it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to suck. But yeah, I think that they need to enhance these damn wolves. But like this video if you guys will, subscribe to the page. I'm going to have a few more Diablo 4 videos coming up before I go back to D2R, or maybe I'll have a D2R in between. And of course, this game is going to be coming out then in 3 weeks or something, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. I've actually been enjoying playing the Druid because it is a challenge. And like I said, you do get kind of a mix of the worlds. You can be a melee fighter if you want, and then if you get bored of that after like 50 hours of gameplay or something, you could respec if you wanted to before it gets too expensive and experiment with other things, with a ranged storm build, or maybe something in between. But I was really hoping there'd be a sort of summon ranged build for that matter. Kind of like the Wind Druid from D2 with like a summon grizzly, only the summon grizzly will actually be doing a lot of damage, or the wolves in this case will be doing a lot of damage, or your ravens. So I'm hoping that there would be something like that later in the game, and maybe with your Paragon tree or whatever, you can modify it to where you can actually make that work, or maybe there are some unique items that'll really buff your minions. I'm not sure, but where we're at right now, unfortunately, these wolves kind of suck. But I'll talk to you guys later. Peace be with you.